Alright guys, this is going to be a feeding video on the spiny eel. This is what I feed it. Seems to work perfectly great every time. So this is what I'm feeding it. It's never pretty. It's just a redworm. Move it! So he gets not exactly I guess almost hand fed. Kind of just stick my hand in here. Make sure he gets it before any other fish. He already knows and smells it. Boom, gone. I just make sure he gets it before any other fish because all the other fish also like it. I can get pretty close up to him. He knows. Boom, gone. I've noticed he prefers when they're actually moving. He thinks he has second thoughts when they're just not moving. See if I can get him to get it off my hand this time. Boom. They have really good eyesight. I think that they have 50-50 eyesight and smell. They're not exactly like the dinosaur bikers and whatever that rely more on their eyesight. I mean, their smell rather than eyesight. These guys are, I think, 50-50. It seems like every time I feed them. I've never been able to feed him bloodworms, brine shrimp, anything like that. I've never been able to feed him successfully. That knife fish smells it. I think that they also smell pretty good. I know they're pretty much blind, but they can smell it. Sometimes I'll drop a shrimp pellet and he's out and about because he can smell it. But yeah, this track eel is what I have. I've never been able to feed them anything else other than worms, like actual live worms. I've seen people have great success feeding them kind of like fish. I know sometimes they say that they eat fish in the tank. I don't have any kind of small fish in there for him to eat, but it's what I feed this guy every single day. Like, he gets one worm. So he knows too. A lot of the times he knows he can see me, and they can see very well, and he sees me and he knows when he's gonna get fed. He's very friendly. I haven't seen him been aggressive with any of my other fish in there. They say he's a nocturnal fish. He's pretty active during the day sometimes. I'm not out here at like 2 in the morning checking if he's up and out and about. But throughout the day, I mean, this is kind of like what he does throughout the day. It's like, what, 5 o'clock right now? 5:30. 5:30 p.m. But that's pretty much him throughout the day right there. Every once in a while, I'll be looking for him, and he's actually under the gravel. They like to do that. He'll just have the tip of his nose and maybe his eyes sticking out of the ground. But that's, you know, sometimes, every once in a while. But this is what he basically does all day. He's not crazy active. He's not always just sleeping like a catfish normally would. He's kind of like in between. He'll move around and he'll stay, or he'll just kind of be moving around a little bit, back and forth. But a lot of times he's just chilling in one spot. He doesn't look dead. He looks like he's just chilling in one spot. These fish actually get pretty massive. So I currently house him in a 55. I plan on moving him up eventually to a 125, and then we'll see from there. But should have plenty of time before I think about space or pressure with space. He seems to do pretty fine in the 55 right now. I don't like to keep fish housed in small places because I feel like it's unfair. Think about it. They have, wherever they live, they have a whole river to live in, and you're keeping them for the rest of life in a smaller area. So I mean, I'm really against that, but I feel like I'm pretty reasonable with my fish. So I feel like he's comfortable in the 55 for now, but I am gonna upgrade him as soon as he starts to get bigger. There he goes. See, he's out and about. Really cool fish. I really recommend this fish. One thing about this fish that's really important is I actually noticed, I witnessed him climbing into my filter because of the current that my filter produces. I do not have a lid on this tank. A lot of people, they say that it is very important to have a lid, because if for any reason he decides to jump out, most likely you're not going to be there to notice it, and you're just going to wake up or just come to find out that your fish is out of the tank and dead. So I would recommend a lid. I don't have one just because I don't know. It's hard to find a lid for a 55. I haven't really found one, but like I said, I try to keep the water levels a little lower than usual. But I did notice him going up and into my filter, actually, where the filter is at. I witnessed it and I got him out of there, but just kind of like a heads up with this fish. There he goes. They like current, so he swam up against the current and went in there. He's only done it once. Just a heads up for that. There he goes. I'll follow him around a little bit. See him sticking out. This is what I mean by my filters. He actually jumped up in there and actually went in there inside, which can be pretty deadly because there's a little spinner in there that he can get caught in, and which is what makes the current go. But he actually jumped in there and was behind these filters right there. Got him out of there as soon as I saw that. But you always want to be careful. That's my only issue that I've had with him. Other than that, he's a really cool fish. He looks great. Definitely an odd fish to look at. Very interesting. Maybe you already have one. Maybe you're struggling to feed him. What I found out that never fails is the worms. The worms, it's hard, really hard for them to resist it because they can smell it and they can see it moving, and immediately they know what it is and they want it. Try and set this up. They love hiding spots. It's always nice to keep him in. All I did was grab a flat rock and kind of lean it up against the glass so that I'm able to see in there. You can do something like that. They love hiding spots. They love to hide around this wood right here. I recommend this fish. you do have to have, you know, experience with fish before. I wouldn't recommend this as a beginner fish exactly, but you know, it's just knowing the basics with fish. I'm not an expert, you know, but it's I always struggled feeding them, and you know, it's one of the most important things with fish. It's actually knowing that your fish are eating, and so I don't know if you can see that mouth. So sometimes when they get big enough, they'll start eating your fish, but they don't have the biggest mouth out there. So when I got mine actually a little bit bigger than this one, and I never seen him eat, and he was losing weight, and he was always hiding because he wasn't eating any of the food I would throw in there. And so one time I had the brilliant idea to throw a worm in there, and boom, just swallowed it up. Right after that first worm, he was so active throughout the tank. He was moving around. Before that, he was just hiding the entire time. Really changed the fish entirely as soon as I fed him that one worm. And so they really love the worms, and so I feel like you can't go wrong with those worms. And what I mean by worms is basically like if you go to your yard and just kind of find a little small earthworm, you know, clean it up. I always rinse them up before I throw them in there. Being a little shy. Definitely a cool fish to have. But yeah, guys, hopefully this helped out some of you guys maybe. If you have any questions, I can try and answer them as best as my knowledge of the fish. Just drop them down. I know I'm not the best at making videos right now, but I know I missed a lot of things about him. So if you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer them. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been having pretty good success keeping this fish. Alright guys, until next time.